Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video, we're going to talk about the Tucktec BOTO, a simple, lightweight option for people who are trying to get out on the water. Maybe you aren't too strong and you need a lightweight kayak option. Maybe you don't have a ton of storage and you need an easy way to put your kayak away. Maybe you don't have yourself a nice large truck and you need the ability to transport your kayak. Well, the BOTO might be the option for you. So what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about this in detail. Now I've looked at this in the past in a first look and impression, kind of a setup video where I compared the BOTO against the full heavy-duty Tucktec 2024 edition. At this point, I've used this at length. I've been out on the water a number of times. I certainly have some impressions and I have some important points to discuss with you. And so when we get back, we'll go through all of this in detail. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Tucktec who did provide this for review. Now, I'm out here today in the BOTO. So far, very easy, very simple to set up, literally a mere matter of minutes. And when I say a mere matter of minutes, I mean like 2 minutes, not like 10. So very simple to set up, extremely lightweight, the ability to easily carry this down to the water with ease. Packs up, goes right in a vehicle, very simple. And you'll notice in this particular clip, I did have a couple of these Tucktec kayaks, literally both in the same vehicle, kind of like a hatchback design, extremely easy. And on top of that, my son is able to set these up with ease. Super easy, super flexible, the ability to get this set up in a mere matter of minutes, and even for him, which is great. But here today, I'm on the open water, enjoying this time. Now, this kayak is not meant for heavy, choppy water. If you're gonna bring this out on the ocean in heavy conditions, you may find out that you're swimming, and even at that, it's just really not meant for super rugged activity. Now, at the same time, I do have to say these Tucktec kayaks are surprisingly rugged in their ability to sustain bumps off of rocks and roots and, bumping into docks and things like that. So they're pretty durable, all things considered, but also keep in mind the fact that the BOTO is going to have a lower capacity than the heavy-duty version. The heavy-duty versions are extremely tough, very durable, and can carry me with my gear with ease. So you do need to think a little bit about your size, how big you are, what you're trying to carry with you to decide whether or not the BOTO will be a fit for you. Now, there are definitely some considerations that come with the lightweight kayak. At this point, I've used this on a number of occasions. I've given it to my son. He's taken it on trips. This is a fantastic and simple, and I'm gonna call it little ease of fishing type of kayak. If you're somebody that enjoys fishing, this would be a great option where it's super lightweight. You could kind of almost strap it on a backpack even and carry it into a tight remote location, bring your pole, put it in that kind of funny little spot, get to some quality fishing and really hitting areas you otherwise wouldn't be able to get to. But there is a trade-off again with the lightweight capabilities and the overall functionality. First off, there is no footrest, which is going to minimize the effectiveness of your paddling. It's not a huge deal, but my legs do sit very flat, and I do find that it can be a little bit uncomfortable, so I actually take my backpack, I slide it under my knees. That gives me a little bit more comfort so that my knees have a nice little bend to them, but not having that footrest definitely limits the power that makes it to your paddles. Other designs that do have the footrest really does translate the power to the paddles a lot easier. So that is definitely a consideration. Now, something else worth considering. There is a lot of hardware that hangs off the side of this kayak, and keep in mind the fact that it is made of corrugated plastic. So the edges can be a little bit sharp, and the fact that there is a lot of hardware hanging off of the sides means that for me, with my arm length, the length of the paddles, the geometry of the kayak itself, and how I tend to row, well, I have the potential to bang into that hardware with my hands, with my knuckles, with my fingers. I already did it today. I have I guess, a little bit of a bruise on my finger just from banging into it. So you need to be a little bit careful. You need to practice your technique, and you need to find a way to paddle so that you don't brush into these things. You don't rub along the plastic. It's sharp. It can actually cut you if you're not careful. So you may want to get some weather stripping or something for the edges. But again, you kind of need to practice to figure out what works for you, and it will come in time. So something just worth mentioning. Now again, another consideration due to the lightweight construction, the seat is extremely minimalistic. Now again, that's the double-edged sword. It's not a bad deal if you're not expecting a whole heck of a lot of comfort. Now for me, I don't mind the seat. It's actually reasonably comfortable, and my son also doesn't have too much of a problem with these seats and how they feel. It's kind of flimsy, which kind of works in some regards. It has a little flex and give. It kind of allows it to flex behind your back and really give you the ability to sink into the seat just a little bit. It's a minimalistic seat pad underneath you, and it does kind of contour with the bottom of the boat. So at times, if you have an abundance of water in the kayak itself, you will definitely get wet. And when you're kind of rubbing up against things, you can definitely feel the bottom. So if you're bumping into rocks, logs, things like that, you will absolutely feel it. So you need to be a little bit careful how you use the BOTO, but that's partly, again, because of the lightweight construction. So a double-edged sword. With the pros come the cons, but the cons aren't that bad if you understand it. Now, I did find on one occasion I had some user error. Unfortunately, I used the latches on the side of the kayak the opposite direction from how they're intended to latch in, and it meant the side was really flexible and kind of bumped in from time to time, and it wouldn't keep its shape. It was a little bit sketchy. Now, the boat didn't fall apart. I was still able to track, but I definitely had user error, so pay attention. It is something worth noting. The latches on the side have to be connected a very specific way. So when it comes down to tracking is not too bad. Now today on the open water, but in previous times I have had this on moving rivers, and in both cases, very good. I haven't had too many problems, and especially considering A, the overall lightweight, B, the fairly short length at under 10 feet, and then on top of all of that, it doesn't even have an integral skeg like the heavy duty version. So all of those things add up to a sort of design that might not be the best for tracking. And on top of all of this, it's a flat bottom design. But I do have to say, this tracks fairly well. It's fairly smooth. It cuts okay in the water. I can get around just fine. You're not going to break any sort of on river or on lake records for speed, but it'll get you A to B, no problem. And especially if you're using this for simple recreation and like me today, floating around, enjoying the day, just having fun on the lake, or if you're getting out for a little bit of fishing, it's absolutely fantastic. So in terms of tracking, pretty good altogether, no problem. I have to say, it does a nice job. And so all in all, I have to say, if you're looking for a simple, lightweight, compact, packable, easily portable, and just gets you out there type of kayak, the BOTO from Tucktec will absolutely do it. Now, again, I do want to point out the fact that if you want something that's a little more rugged, a little more robust, you should probably consider the HD. It does have a fairly light overall weight, but nowhere close to the BOTO. So depending on your needs, the BOTO might be the better way to go if you're looking for super lightweight. But if you want a little bit more heft, a little more ruggedness, a little more weight capacity, and sort of a better featured kayak overall, the Tucktec Heavy Duty might be the way to go. But again, the BOTO is going to get you out there. It's going to be a great performer. It's very light, super compact, easy to store. For somebody that's not quite as strong or wants the ease of setup, this is a great way to go. And so with that, this is the Tucktec BOTO. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much to the people at Tucktec who did provide this for review. If you like what you see here today, do me a favor, look in the description box below where you can get all of the relevant links for where you can find these awesome Tucktec products, not just the BOTO, but any other model out there. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.